teacher pens? I have my pens.
My pens are in the pattern.
Why?
Because, actually no, wait a second. Sierra's got my pink one.
Alright, so I want to get started. I need you to quiet down and listen, please.
Stealing my blue teacher pen.
Alright. Shh. We're focused now. Stop talking and listen. So today we're going to look at the area of a parallelogram. Okay, so the formula for the area of a parallelogram is equal to base times height. Shh. Base times height. The base, or B, is a parallel side. Okay, so base is one of the parallel sides. The height, or H, is the perpendicular distance, okay, between parallel sides. Okay, so again, that symbol is perpendicular. It forms that 90-degree angle. So looking at problems 1 and 2, we want to find the area and the perimeter. We want to find the area and the perimeter. So for area, we need one of the parallel sides and that perpendicular distance between the two parallel sides. So what I look for first is where that perpendicular line is within my figure. Okay, so that perpendicular line is the one that forms that 90-degree angle with one of your sides. Okay, that line is going to be your height. Okay, so that line is your height. That means your base has to be where that line meets with that 90-degree angle. Okay, so that side that meets your height at the 90-degree angle, okay, that has to be your base. So in my picture here, I have this side is 21 and this side is 17. Now since this is a parallelogram, what do you know about the opposite sides? They're the same. So this whole side here has to be 21. And this whole side here has to be 17. Okay, so right now for the area of this parallelogram, all I'm missing is this height. Well, how can I find that height if I have this right triangle formed here? I can use the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so I have a right triangle formed. I have two sides of that right triangle. I can find the third side. So my hypotenuse in this triangle is 17. My other two sides are the legs, A and B. So I have 8 squared plus h squared is equal to 17 squared. Shh. 8 squared is 64. 17 squared is 289. Subtract 64. Okay, h squared is equal to 225. Take the square root, both sides. H is equal to 15. So that h value is my height of this parallelogram. So now I have all the information needed to find the area and the perimeter of this figure. So area is our base times our height. Our base is 21. Our height is 15. Okay, multiply those two together. I got 315. Since each of these measurements are in centimeters, your area is in centimeters, but it's in centimeters squared. What? Okay, so that's the area. Next, I want to find the perimeter. Okay, perimeter is adding up all of your sides together. Okay, all of the outside sides. So that means I'm taking 21, 17, 21, 17. Okay, so adding 21 plus 17, 21 plus 17. You do not add in that 15. Okay, that length of 15 is inside of that parallelogram. Okay, to find the perimeter, you're taking everything on the outside. Okay, this is equal to 76. And that one is just in centimeters. Okay, not centimeters squared. You're not multiplying two lengths together. Okay, so this one was my area. This one is the perimeter.
Is that what the A and the P?
Okay, questions on the first one here?
Nope.
All right, I want you guys to do number 2.
Oh man, I don't know how to do it.
Do number 2.
I don't know how to do it.
No, it's not shaded in.
No, it's not shit.
You're finding the area and perimeter of the shaded parallelogram.
Sorry, I got more things.
Find the area and perimeter of the shaded parallelogram.
Squared. Now we gotta find this here. I need an actual calculator. Cameron, why do you look so upset? No, you're not. You're just upset. Nice room.
What am I upset about?
That we're not best friends. Duh. Everybody's upset about that.
Someone's upset. Yeah. No, you didn't. I doubt you did.
Hey, y'all raise your voice like that.
Why what? I don't know how to do this. I was paying attention, I promise.
625.
Exactly. So I don't get it.
They're all, does the 24 go on the opposite side?
Is that part of the parallelogram?
Yeah, it's not shaded.
It's not.
Well, I know this is 23. You know, I'm so excited to go to work next week because I'm going to switch shifts.
6.8.
I'm going to work Friday and I'm going to work on Thursday, so then I can work with Michaela to see how bad she actually
Dude, this
is.
is so easy. Oh my god.
Which one were you solving for?
Oh, we did it like first. So then I was like, okay, I'll do that one first. I don't know how I got that.
Chandler. Sam showed me a picture of a girl like that. Yeah. Haven't talked to him. No, Saturday.
Yeah. She's a German. Yeah, she got her birthday. Last Saturday.
She got that taken away after.
All the girls saw it.
Most people, I think, are, well, the ones that tried are
I
done.
just really need you.
Yes, I tried my best and I did succeed.
I just really need you to sit here one with me today.
So, number 2, finding the area first, okay? Our height, again, is that perpendicular distance between two parallel sides. So you want to look for that perpendicular. Okay, so that would be this one right here. Okay, so that length is going to be your height. Now your base of your parallelogram is where that height meets that side at the perpendicular. Okay, so the base is going to be this length right here. That does not include that 7 feet. Okay, that 7 feet is not part of the shaded parallelogram. Okay, so you can only use that base of 23 feet. So to find the area, this is your base. To find the area, we'll take our base length of 23 times our height of 24. And that's 552 feet squared. Okay, so do you know why I didn't add that 7 feet in?
Because it's not part of the base.
It's not part of the parallelogram itself. You're trying to find the area of the parallelogram, not that extra triangle on the left-hand side. So now that I found the area, I want to find the perimeter. Now, with this parallelogram, I know this side is 23. So its opposite side also has to be 23. Now, I don't know what this length is. Okay? That's the side of the parallelogram you need. Just because you have 24 here doesn't mean this length is 24 and this length is 24. You need to find what this length is. To do that, you can use the Pythagorean theorem with this unshaded right triangle right here. Okay, so I can take 7 squared plus 24 squared is equal to that hypotenuse squared. Okay, that's where that 7 comes into play. So you can find that other length of that parallelogram. Okay, so this is the length I'm finding. So I'm finding this length right here. That's why I labeled it x. Solving for x now, I have 49 plus 576 equals x squared. That's 625 equals x squared. Take the square root of both sides.
25.
Okay, so this length of that side in this parallelogram is 25. That means this length is 25. Okay, so to find the perimeter, we'll add all 4 sides of this parallelogram.
I got that first.
It is 96 feet. Feet.
Are we done yet?
No.
Oh.
Okay, questions on number 2. All right, looking at number 3 and 4, this time we just have to find the area. We don't have to find the perimeter. Okay, so make sure you are reading your directions. Sometimes it'll ask for both. Sometimes it'll just ask for area. So in number 3, we have this side is 17, this piece is 9. Now for finding area, again, we need the height. Where is the height in this picture?
That dotted line.
That dotted line. Good. Okay, so your height is that perpendicular distance there. Your base is where your height meets that side at the perpendicular. Okay, so that would be this entire side here. What is that entire side? It is 17. Okay, so that entire side is 17 because its opposite side is 17. It is 17 yards, yes. Now, what I'm missing to find the area is this height. If I look at this right triangle created, this is a 45, 45, 90 right triangle. What do you know about the legs of that right triangle? They're the same. So if one of your legs is 9, what is the height? 9.
Easy.
I miss Sheila. You're like the 4th person to say that today. Asked you over my grade.
So now I have the base and the height. So I can find the area of this parallelogram. The base is 17 times the height is 9. That is equal to 153. 153 yards squared. Questions on 3? I really need you guys to stop talking so we can continue through our note sheet. All right, number 4, doing the same thing. We're trying to find the area, and we have a special right triangle involved in it. So, where's the height? The dotted line. Where's the base? The bottom line. How long is the base? 32 meters. And I'm missing that height. Okay, so I'm missing that height length. Now if I look at the triangle formed, I have a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. Now within that right triangle, I'm given one side of 12 meters. That one side is the short side. Okay, so this is the short side of that right triangle because it's opposite that 30-degree angle. This side that I need to find is the long side. Okay, so we're looking for the long side. So I'm going to use this formula right here. So our long side is equal to the square root of 3 times the short side. Okay, again, this one is the short side. So all I have to do is plug in 12 for the short side.
20.7846096.
So our long side, or H, our long side, or H, is equal to 12 times the square root of 3. That's your height. We have our base. It's 32. So I can find the area of this parallelogram. We'll take our base of 32 multiplied by our height of 12 times the square root of 3. I just have to plug that into my calculator. I got 665.12, and that's meters squared. Okay, so when you're given problems like these first four, you're trying to find either the area or perimeter of the shaded figure. Okay, so it's of the shaded figure. Questions on those two problems before we move on here? All right, number 5 then. This one, there's not a parallelogram drawn for you, meaning you're probably going to have to draw it yourself. Now, it doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to label it correctly. So in number 5, we have the base of a parallelogram is twice its height. If the area of the parallelogram is 72 square feet, find the base and the height. So in this problem, we're given what the area is already, and we have to find its measurements. So I'm going to draw in a parallelogram. Now in my problem, I have the base is twice the height. Okay, what does it mean to be twice the height? What would you do to that value? Times 2. Okay, so since the base is twice the height, I would multiply the base by 2 compared to the height. So I'd say 2 times h. What would that make your height? What would I label the height as then? Not h squared. Just h. Because all they told me is the base is twice the measure of the height. So if I said the base was 10, you would say the height is what? Hey, shh, we're listening. The base was 10, what would you say the height is? 5. So that's where I'm getting this h from. Okay, so if I knew what the base was, it's 2 times that h value. So height just has to be height. Now I'm also given the area. Okay, so your area is 72 feet squared. Well, what's my formula for area? Base times height. Okay, so our area is equal to base times height. Well, my base is what? What did I label the base as? 2 times h. What did I label the height as? H. What's the area? What's the area? 72. So all I'm doing is plugging in each value into my area formula. If I'm given the area, plug in that area for A. Plug in what you found the base to be and what you found the height to be. From here, I'm just going to solve for h now. So I have 72 is equal to 2 times h squared. I multiply h times h, that is h squared. What should I do next? Divide by 2. So I have 36 is equal to h squared. What does h equal? Okay, so h will be equal to 6. So our height is 6 feet. What's our base then? And our base is 12. And to check, if you need to multiply 12 times 6, you do get 72 for the area. Questions on how I set up that problem? Why I labeled the base like I did. You do have a problem like that on your homework. Okay. Last one.
I'll go to Luella's room, she's really good. I'll do that.
Last one. This one, you do have a picture. However, it's telling you to find, or it's telling you what the area is already. So it's kind of like the last one we did. This time we're just solving for x. Okay, well, x is this length right here. What is that considered? The height. Okay, then which one is your base? 8. So I'm still using this formula. Area is equal to base times height. And I'm just going to plug in each value. Well, I'm given A is 148. So I'll plug in 148 for A. I have B is 8. And H is X. So from here, all I have to do is divide by 8. To get X is 18.5 meters. Okay, so you're just plugging in those values into that area formula. On your assignment, the first 4, you have to find the perimeter and the area of those figures.